Yo, it's so much shit that we were like exposed to in our childhood that's so crazy when you really think about it. Like the concept of bobbing for apples, yo. If somebody walked up to you right now and said, "Yo, come with me. I'm gonna have like two other people there. Y'all all gonna put your hands behind your back. Only use your mouth and try to grab some out of this water." Imagine that. Then imagine if somebody said, "How about we use your kids?" You gonna call the cops or something. You gonna call something. Somebody with a firearm or somebody with something that can, you know what I mean? Somebody. But that was a real thing that they had people like competing with. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that don't sound crazy. That NFL combine of germs don't sound crazy. It's weird. But we back in the building, man. It's all for the love. Episode 14. Am I right, Producer Bethany? Episode 14. Listen, man, shout out to everybody that's been tuning in. You know what I mean? Been telling a friend to tell a friend. You've been liking, commenting, subscribing, and all of that. Got a couple things to talk about. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about Pusha T. No longer standing with Ye. It's about damn time. You know, talk about Michelle Obama. You know, she has some recent comments I want to get into and all that. Couple things, but let's start here. Rest in peace to Combat Jack, the legend. Somebody who's very inspirational to me, to a lot of people. You know, anybody who you see podcasting and, you know, in this space, I guarantee you that they were inspired by him in one way or another, right? He's someone who made it possible for like the Deezus and Mero to, you know, to get on and to believe and look at this shit and be like, dog, I can really go make a living just being myself, talking to my homies. You know what I mean? Talking the way that we talk. We don't have to pull up and code switch and speak a different kind of language, speak a different kind of way in this space. We can just be us. And from there, you get like the Jenkins and Jones show, who, you know, I love all of those dudes. You know what I mean? Those are my guys. That's like family. You know, and I'm a product of that, of looking at that and seeing like representation in a major way. And none of that would be possible without Combat Jack. You know what I mean? It, it, it's crazy when you look up and it's 5 years, man. It feels like forever. It feels like it's been, you know, an eternity. But that's just how it is. You know, with a presence that big and, you know, a legacy that he left like that, his impact absolutely crazy. So rest in peace, Combat Jack, man. Long live Combat Jack. We got to talk about this though, Producer Bethany. We have to. I hit you up when this album dropped. We talked about it briefly, just a little bit. This album has been out. The SZA album, SOS, dropped what, December 9th, right? So it's been out 2.5 weeks almost. If you think I'm about to come on here and call this the greatest album ever in less than 3 weeks, guess what? I am. It is. I'm listen. I've been talking about this on social media. I've been talking about this just, you know, to my friends, to my wife, to my pets even. This album is incredible. She start the album off, she's rapping a little bit, you know what I mean? Sounding like Nas or something, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't want to go too crazy with the comparison, nothing, just something humble. But you know, she's talking that talk, man. Kill Bill, I think, is the song. It's obviously like the standout song, is breaking all kind of records and shit like that. And I was high the other night and I started coming up with these theories about what else that song could be about. And I honestly feel like that song could be dedicated to like R&B as a genre, because like when she says I might kill my ex, you know, a lot of singers, they go through these periods when they like fall in and out of love with music, and it's like they be done with it sometimes and it's whatever, right? And it's been a while since we got an album, since Control, which is a classic, by the way. Like, let's, you know, this is another one. And I feel like that part about like, you know, I'd rather be in hell than be alone, and I might kill my ex and this new girl and all that. Like, you know, there's a lot of new girls that come out. It's a lot of new, you know, things at the moment and shit like that. And I feel like she could have been like, yo, I might come back, kill them too. You know, you never know. Because she talking her shit, like I said, on the intro and all that. But I don't know. Like I said, I know y'all going to ask me what strain it was and all that. DM me for that information. That ain't for the public consumption. You know what I'm saying? But This album is all I've been listening to. And it's not because it's like, a lot of times things happen on social media where it's like an album comes out and you may not be familiar with the artist or anything, but because your timeline is talking about it, you feel intrigued to check it out. And you're like, you know what, let me just see what it's about just to be part of the conversation. With SZA's album, I don't think it's like that. It's an organic kind of attraction to the album. I take breaks from listening to that album. I might listen to 2 or 3 rap songs and then it's right back to Solana. That's it. That's all I can. I can't listen to anything else right now. I thought Beyonce had album of the year wrapped up, and then this dropped, and I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know, man. I fucking love this album. She got so silly on Snooze. Like, you hear the vocals on that. You know how they had like the cartoon bird sounding like perfect and all that. She went crazy. This album is one of them, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like, it's for me. I'm calling it album of the year. It's the greatest album ever. Let's talk about that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna see how producer Bethany feel about this after we after we record. Producer Bethany is crazy, man. All right. I saw this conversation online recently, right? And it was basically about like how trash the 90s must have been because there was no internet and you were in the house and none of that. Let me tell you this. Not only were we not in the house as much as, people want to make it out to be and all that, you want to, push that narrative. We went outside so the kids of today could stay inside. We were out there. We the ones with the scrapes on the knees and the elbows, and you look at any kid that grew up in the 90s, if they don't have a scrape on their knee or their leg, a very specific one, they weren't really living the same as we were. I'll just tell you that. Before there was online gaming, the homies had to come to the house to play the game and take turns and all that. And you only knew where it was popping, not because a notification popped up on the TV and said, there's 10 people in this party right now, whatever. No. We had to go outside, walk down that block and see where all the bikes were parked at. You see 6, 7 bikes parked out there in front of the crib. Oh, okay, bet. All the homies there. You see the blue bike with the juice container folded up so it shit could sound like a motorcycle when you pull off. Oh, the homie is in there. All right, cool. This where we at today. This where we on. We were outside until the street lights brought us home. My mom used to do this thing where she would whistle. I could hear that shit from 3 blocks away. Everybody in the neighborhood knew. They'll hit me, yo, dad, yo, your mom. I'm like, oh, I bet. They knew. We were outside. That's the reason why most of us don't want our kids outside right now. We know what was going on outside, and we know what's going outside, going on outside today. So it definitely wasn't trash. We didn't know the internet. We didn't know any of this shit to, for it to be there and for us to compare it to something. Nah. We were really outside interacting, having real conversations, dealing with real life in person. And if you said something somebody else didn't like, you had to deal with what that looks like and what that feels like. You had to, you probably actually got punched in the face or punched somebody in the face. It probably happened. And it probably taught you a lesson to not do that anymore, not say that anymore. Like, it's not like now you could just say what you want to say, log off and, enjoy, go about your day. Oh, we were really outside. So I just want to speak on that real quick for those who think that it was a game or it was a facade or something like that. I don't know, what 90s kids you grew up around, but that's not us. I'm not gonna hold you. We was really outside. That's why we like to be inside now. That's why I like being in the bed now. I did my time. You know what I mean? You know how like they say NFL running backs, if you 32, you're really like 42. That's why we feel so old now. We was outside on pavement and concrete and gravel and shit. Like, that's why. You look up and got a random knee ache, random shoulder problem. Remember them games we had to go outside and make up? We had to go play wrestling. We was wrestling outside, doing the real moves. You know what I'm saying? So it was this was a real thing, man. It was a real thing, for real. Speaking of something real, your man Pusha T. One of the realest, one of my favorites. Y'all know that. Y'all know I come on here and talk about Pusha T. I still think he has rap album of the year with It's Almost Dry. I think there were some albums that dropped that, Freddie Gibbs' album is crazy. Rome Street's album, crazy. West Side Gun, but I still would give that nod to Pusha T. But recently he stepped down as the president of Good Music, a position that he's held since, I want to say 2015. And I feel like a lot of people, everybody ran to like, oh, well, he stood next to Ye when Ye supported Trump, and but now he's saying he can't, and it's like, yeah, Push has been through a lot in these past couple years, losing his parents, becoming a father, um, taking out the biggest rapper in the game. Like that man has been on an emotional roller coaster, for these last couple years, and I feel like a lot of times as a man, like people try to, just as people try to put you in a box and hold you to something you said 6, 7 years ago, and it's like, bro, I'm a different person than I was 6, 7 hours ago. You know what I mean? I'm constantly learning and evolving. So I feel like Pusha just heard a lot of the shit that's going on with Ye now, and he's like, yo, I'm cool. I'm a father, bro. I can't. How am I gonna look at my son and try to instill values in my son if I'm standing by letting certain shit go down? And a lot of times you stand by people, you're loyal to a fault. You stand by people who stood by you at a time when you needed them, and so you feel like you owe them that same thing in return. And he spoke about that. Ye hit him up and told him, hey, I know you don't agree with everything I do, but thanks for not, dragging this shit publicly, because a lot of people can't wait to do that. And Push held him down, but I feel like at a certain point, enough is enough. And it doesn't matter what we've done for each other in the past, but if right now this relationship doesn't serve me, and it's something I can't really sleep with, it's over. You got to cut ties. And I know from experience that shit can be tough. It's a tough decision. Sometimes you hold on longer than you should because you feel a sense of loyalty. But you got to ask yourself, if you making all these sacrifices and you being so loyal and you holding it down, why won't they? Why won't they do the same thing for you? That's all. So I commend Pusha T for that. You know what I mean? He said he felt like it ain't no tap dancing around the shit that he's doing now. He acknowledged that Ye might not be well, and he also said it's one of those things where if you're not with it and, you're not going to stand on this shit with Ye, then you can't be around. And he said, look, I'd rather not be around then. I'm going to remove myself from this situation. If I can't change what I'm around, I'm going to change what I'm around. You know what I mean? I think that's very sound advice. So shout out to Push, man. I love that. I ain't gonna lie. I respect it. I respect it. Michelle Obama, that queen, that legend. Recently, she was on talking, the revolt thing, the cross generational conversation, right? It was, she spoke with Kelly Rowland, some more people up there, and one of the conversations started, being about being friends with your kids. And basically her stance was like, nah, like I don't have time to know. What you mean being friends with them? Like, no, being friends with someone comes with certain expectations when it comes to like making sure they're happy all the time or telling them what they want to hear all the time and things like that. I'm paraphrasing, but you have to understand that what she's done in her life and what's worked for her and Barack and their children, that's what works for them. So this is not me saying whether she was right or wrong. So here's here's the beginning of a new statement, because this is not about Michelle Obama. I couldn't imagine not being friends with my kids. The inside jokes that we have, the handshakes we made up, the custom daps and all that, I couldn't imagine it. But I'm coming from a different place of time. Michelle Obama comes from a whole different time, growing up and becoming a parent. So that means that her parents come from a different time. And most of the time people grow up and they try to instill these values that they were taught, and they move the way that they were taught. And I know a lot of times the older generations just feel like, well, it worked for me, so I'm going to keep doing it. And it's like, yeah, well, maybe some things work, but maybe a lot of that stuff is kind of an old practice and it may not be necessary anymore. Because as much as people talk about friendships, a lot of what makes strong friendships is accountability. Telling somebody when they're wrong. Telling somebody, yo, nah, Brian, I wasn't really feeling that. Friends fall out. They might not talk for a couple days, a couple weeks, a couple months, but they find their way back. So every friendship is not, just all peaches and cream. It's not just every day, oh, I'm going to tell you what you want to hear. And if it is, that's not a friendship. That's somebody that's being used. You understand? For something, one way or another. Friends hold each other accountable. And so it's like with me, with my kids, like, yeah, I'm not going to always tell you yes. Sometimes you're going to have to live with what that no feels like. And she spoke on that. She said the first time your kids deal with unfairness or hearing no shouldn't be when they're 30. And I agree. I completely agree. But I also think that two things can be true. you can achieve a perfect balance in your household where they understand, like, that's mommy. Mommy said no, then cool. And they mad about it or whatever. That's fine. It'll pass. But we also gonna be able to chop it up about whatever else. You know what I mean? We also gonna be able to come back to the table and, hey, yo, come get this. I know you want this cookie though, right? No, you ain't gonna front on me for this, right? Like, and and that's where the friendship begins. Like, so I definitely think it's possible, but it's only possible because of what our parents and their parents went through. We had to see what's going on, see what works. And then you pick and choose what you want to pass on to the next generation. And I think our generation is one that can cultivate that environment and bring back that sense of community where it's like, yeah, we can be friends. You want your kids to get older and be able to come tell you their problems, what they're going through, how they're feeling, people who they might be interested in dating. You want them to come to you and tell you that. You don't want one of their friends to have all this information and you don't even know your kid anymore. Now y'all becoming strangers because y'all don't have a friendship there. So for me, just for me, I feel like that perfect balance is very, very achievable. So, I mean, listen, God bless anybody who feels otherwise. That's cool. You do what work for you. I do what work for me, But I do think being friends with your kids has a lot of benefits. And I mean, it's your kids. Think about the concept of having kids. Like, those are your kids. That's you. You want to be friends with you? Another you? Give them the game that you had and talk to them. Listen, when my son get old enough and we playing the game together, we playing 2K or Madden, and I'm up 20, he gonna hear about it. We gonna talk. We gonna hear about this. You know what I'm saying? And then it's gonna come a day where he might beat me. We gonna have to handle it. We gonna have to handle it. But again, man, that's just me. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it. Coming up in a minute, we got producer Bethany pulling up. Yes, I know the highly anticipated debut on the All for the Love show. Producer Bethany, you know what I mean? We got some Ask Mari questions, man. A couple people sent in some very interesting questions. We're gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna pay a couple bills, and then we're gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
Your glasses on. Shit.
All right, so listen, we here. This is the Ask Mari segment. We have, oh man, I don't even know what title I don't know, Producer Bethany, Professor Bethany, Queen Bethany, all type of Bethanies. You feel me? The GOAT, my GOAT. We got Bethany in the building. What's going on, B? First of all, what's up?
What's good? I'm
We
here.
chilling. We chilling.
We chilling.
Now, we are chilling. We got some Ask Mari stuff to get into, but first, we gotta have a conversation.
Yeah, we do.
Recently, you asked a question on your Instagram story, and you said basically, I gotta weed y'all out. I gotta see who I need to block. You taking Rush Hour or you taking Bad Boys? We talking about the whole franchise. And I told y'all, if producer Bethany blocks me by the time y'all hear this, I chose wrong. Now I chose Bad Boys. Now let me preface it with this. I love both franchises, but when asked to make a decision, I chose Bad Boys. How you feel about that, producer Bethany?
That's so unfortunate. I really just hovered over the block button. I was so
Really?
disappointed. Mari, you my nigga. Like, I don't get it. How can we choose this film
She said you my
over the
nigga. I don't get it.
greatness?
Well,
Over the greatness of Rush Hour?
so let's talk about it, right? Because I will say Camel Hump. I told you it got a special place in my heart. I want to try Camel Hump still to this day because of Jackie Chan. Like, dog, real shit. So I love those movies, and those movies do have a special place in my heart. I watched those movies all the time as a kid, but I watched Bad Boys as well. And you got to understand, like me being a Detroit nigga, Martin, after playing Martin on this legendary show and being from Detroit, it was just, and then the movie was great. They made
Yeah.
cops seem cool. Cops never
Yeah.
seem cool. They made cops like, nah, I might could be that. Like, hold on.
And they look good as fuck too.
And
I
then
know you can't say that. They
no,
they were
no. Them niggas,
attractive
I can say
men.
what I want. Them niggas was handsome than a motherfucker. I can say that. This is me. And then there was the one scene where the nigga Martin, Will Smith, they was leaving out. and he shot the ball, he made it, and nigga Martin walked out and said, I'd have dunked it on your ass. Like, bro, little things like that just do it for me every time. So that was my reason for picking it, and I do think that Bad Boys 2 is probably it's probably my favorite movie out of all 6 of these films. It's probably my favorite.
What?
Even though Rush Hour 2 is an absolute classic. All of the shit we talking about is classic. Let's be clear. Let's not even play games like it's like one is better than the other or whatever. It's just about a preference thing, really. So I chose Bad Boys. Why do you take Rush Hour?
I just remember going to the movies and seeing Chris Tucker having just an incredible run. Now, do you remember Money Talks? How fucking funny that film was?
Incredibly fun. It's I'll watch that shit anytime it come on. It's a TNT TBS classic. Shit be on 3 p.m. You go and watch it.
And I'm not sure who the producers were who decided to cast fucking Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker in a film and put these two people together. But I literally watched this about 2 nights ago, Rush Hour 1.
Classic.
It does not give you a break. It doesn't give you a break. Chris Tucker just does not let up the entire film. Yeah. It doesn't stop. It is something, he is saying something off to the side that you might not catch the first time that you watch it. You watch it again. He's like, he really said that?
Yeah.
He said, I'm not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
And you know what's funny? So it's an interesting story about their connection. Like when they met, Jackie Chan said that everybody was like talking to him like, Jackie, we're going to do this and we're going to do it. And he said, Chris Tucker put him like, hey man, you know what I'm saying? And he said, I couldn't understand. So that do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth thing was like a real, you know what I mean? Like it's a classic because there's a backstory to it and because, Jackie ended up hitting him with that as well. You know what I mean? Like right. The other one. So it's like, for sure.
I don't know. I mean, the soundtracks were great for both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially Bad Boys 2, of course. Listen. You had Nelly and Diddy and Shake Your Tail Feather and all that shit. Man. I was like, niggas was ready to get the shields and all that. Feel me? Like, but then on Rush Hour, you had Drew Hill. How Deep Is Your Love? Absolutely. Okay, you got Can I Get Her from Jay-Z.
That was Ja Rule's basically his, that was his welcome to the world.
To the world.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I just take everything into context when thinking about when Rush Hour came out in '98. What was just going on? At all. However, the 98 was just a crazy
in the back seat. With Mariah Carey. Yeah, that was fire. Yeah.
But I mean, just thinking about 1998, because Life came out either 1998, 99.
Yep.
So, like comedies around that time was just
they couldn't miss. It was and it was all like original. Missing. It was all like it was for us, but it was like for the masses as well. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's kind of what did it for me with Bad. Like I said again, me picking Bad Boys is not me saying I don't fuck with Rush Hour because I love Rush Hour. I watch that shit anytime. Period. You know what I mean? But Bad Boys, like I said, for me. The little shit like John Sally and the Lakers, like, you know what I mean, with the big ass glasses on and shit, like it was just the whole dynamic of like Will with with Martin, like it was just a different perspective on cops, like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Now what's funnier? Now here's the thing. Now if you're talking about what's funnier, Rush Hour Easy. I'm not even going to debate that. Like Rush Hour is way funnier. I just think overall. Movie mixed with comedy, mixed with like star power, mixed with you know what I mean, like with everything. I just take Bad Boys personally. You know what I mean, but I'm glad you didn't block me.
That's cool. What do you think about them coming out with Rush Hour 4?
Rush Hour 4, it could be. Man, I feel
because
the same
when
way.
You think about the first 3 Rush Hours and all the like racist jokes or whatever you want to call them.
That's what made.
In today's climate, will we be able to have a funny movie when we have an Asian man and a black man?
I think a lot of their comedy would have to be like there's a Seinfeld episode, right, where like he's made aware of like racial, kind of statements where he's like, oh, I shouldn't say that. So he's with this Native American woman and they're about to go out on a date. And he was like, yeah, well, I'll just find somebody out front that's the guys that are selling tickets. Like instead of saying scalping, you know what I mean? So he don't want to, all of that. So a lot of that comedy will have to be like, if you know, and not so in your face like they used to. You know what I mean? So I don't.
I saw someone say, "Look, if it doesn't have racism in it, keep
Yeah,
it." And I feel the same way because
because
how are we
it
gonna get
could
these jokes
ruin.
off?
This could ruin the legacy. Like Coming to America 2
Yeah.
was terrible.
Ooh.
That
Ooh.
was terrible. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Like, so Rush Hour 4, as much as I want to accept a Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker duo again, I just feel like, damn, bro, like I haven't seen Chris Tucker in anything recently that will make me think that he's just a hilarious guy in a movie right now. His last stand-up that I watched was not good.
Woo, I didn't finish it.
I'm trying to tell you, man, you didn't really miss anything, man. He had maybe 1 or 2 moments in there where I was like, oh shit, like okay, that was good. I like that. But other than that, it was like, yeah, I'm cool. So in theory, Rush Hour 4 would be like great if we can get what we want out of them. But I just don't think that we're gonna get that. I think a lot of shit is gonna get left on like the cutting room floor. Is like, yeah, we can't go with that one, my guy. I don't know about that one. You know
they're
what I
gonna
mean?
have to bring in someone to make sure ethically everything is fine.
The only way that movie will work is if they did private screenings if you wanted to watch it. And they was exclusively private screenings where you had to leave your phone in the basket and you couldn't talk about, you had to sign an NDA when you leave and all of that, because that's the only way they can get those jokes off without getting fucking smoked. Because boy, they was getting some shit off in the movies. Like, I'm trying to tell you, man.
Chris Tucker told Jackie Chan he was gonna drop him off at Panda Express. Like, come on,
he said, man, when the last time you remember the girl, the year of the rat? Like, bro, what? Like, what you mean? I'm trying to tell you, man, it's a little different out there now, man. You ain't got the cholesterol to be out there now.
Woo!
You know, no. Yeah, man, we'll see, man. But yeah, we got some shit, man. We got some great people who sent in some great questions, some great content for Ask Mari, man. So we're gonna get to it. Producer Bethany, I'll let you decide which one you want to go with. We go from there.
You know, I thought this was a really interesting question from Isaac. He asked, which is your favorite cognac logo and why?
Okay. Shout out to Isaac, first of all, for sending that in. Damn, man. The Duce logo is fire.
It's fire.
Duce logo is super fire. Like, it's incredible. It looked like some shit that Ed Hardy would have put on a shirt 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Straight up and down. You know what I mean? It looked fire. It really does. The bottle is fire. I think that it's easy. It's kind of easy to just go with Henny because of what Henny is. And then, like, the logo of it looks like exactly what you about to do after you drink Henny. You know what I'm saying? Like, one way or another, you about to go to war in some type of way, whether it's bedroom or it's the streets. Something going to happen. But I'm going to have to give it to Duce, man. I have to. It's absolutely incredible. It's just a super fire. It's fire as a cognac logo. It's fire as a logo, period. So I'm going to say Duce.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So from Daniel, he says he has 2 questions, actually. So this is a twofer.
Let's do it.
All right.
Gotta love it when it's 2 for you.
Okay. All right. So the first one, how significant is BJ Armstrong to Detroit sports? He reps the city, the Pistons, and Detroit hip hop. Even connected with Elzai with Georgia for their LP, apparently.
Yeah.
So
well, first and foremost, yes, shout out to BJ Armstrong. Detroit product, somebody who got to the league, did great things with Mike. Didn't go so well when he was on the other team and he tried to bait Mike into the back and forth shit, and it was like, yeah, he got sent home. But Detroit products are very vital, and he is one of those guys who, he went to Iowa for college. And, as much as Iowa was kind of like, they embraced him, made him feel like a second home, he does tap in back to the hometown. You know what I mean? It's important to see our heroes, the ones that make it from where we come from, that look like us, that come back and reach back. So he's very vital because there's a whole generation of kids that would have missed out on so much had he not set that example. You know what I mean? So for him to come back and tap in on the music scene as well, he's definitely somebody that's important. You know what I mean? Like, does a lot of shit that matters moving forward. So shout out to BJ Armstrong forever, always.
All right. Second question. If you are out and a woman is choosing, how much of that is to do with you and how much to do with her? In other words, how should a brother receive it in terms of feedback when he sees a woman choosing up?
That's a good question. That's actually a great question. And I would love to get your input as well, Producer Bethany. I feel like this. there's certain women who don't mind approaching a guy, and then there's certain women who don't mind missing out on something that they want because it's just not in their personality to go up and do that. Like they'll go home later and be like, damn, I should have, but it's just not them to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's more on that percentage is higher in a woman's favor. Like if she wanted to do that, you could have been out looking like him, you know what I mean? Everything, but she just didn't approach because it's not in her. So it's not really a slight to you. It's just, really, it's kind of like that. So I would say percentage wise, I would put it at about like 58% is on her if she wants to approach because it has to kind of already be in her. You know what I mean? And then the rest of it is kind of on you. Did you show up and look the part? Because if you did, she going to pull up on you. Hey, you know what I'm saying? What's going on with that? Hey, come here. You heard? Or she might just shoot you a look. She might not even say nothing. She shoots you a look like, and then you know what time it is. So am I off on that, Producer Bethany? Am I off on the percentage?
I think it's a little bit higher.
Oh, okay.
I think women should shoot their shot a whole lot more because, in my experience, every time I shoot my shot, it's 100%.
Come on, we know you Steph out here. Let's not even act like, you know what I mean? We know you Steph. You got the crown. Like, come on.
I mean, because that also means that the woman's been watching you long enough to see, like,
right.
If she even wants to, speak to you.
Yeah.
So she's, checking out the vibe. She's also checking out who you're surrounded with. Now, if you out with your boys and somebody in the crew is like, he might be a little lame or whatever, a little corny.
Yeah.
That can mess up your whole shit too. That can affect if a woman is gonna, say anything. So I think it's higher.
So you think so you think it's higher as far as like the reason why if a dude gets approached, you think it's more so because the woman is, you know what I mean? Like it's on her more, not him. Like he could look the part and all that, but she has to.
I feel like women, if a woman is going for something that she wants, she's vetted. You know what I mean? Like she's gonna vet everything before she goes up and just shoots her shot.
I like that.
She's gonna take everything into consideration before she says anything.
Right. And all you had to do was just not fuck it up. So yeah, I'm
exactly.
I'm with that.
Exactly. Yeah. And a lot of men will fuck it up. Trust me.
Okay, cool. We on the same page then. Cool.
Yeah. All right. So we have another one here. And I like this one. I thought this was really cute. Okay. So Donovan asks, what's good, brother Mari? It's your boy Don P. Tapped in. You already know.
Yeah, what up, Don? My nigga Don P.
He said, yo, what are some of your all-time favorite cartoons, bro? I got my first little man on the way, and I got to make sure he knows his cartoons, man. What you and Landon be on? Get with me. Peace and love.
Listen, first and foremost, shout out to Don P, man. That's my dog. I told you, he been my dog for a long time. You know what I mean? Congratulations to you having your first little man come around and shit, man. It's going to change you in a way that we talked about Pusha T at the top of the show, man. Like, looking at your son, you look at yourself, you look at your kids, and you want better for yourself because you want better for them. And this right here is very vital. Cartoons, like, for me, what I watch with my son, we watching the old Batman joints. You know what I'm saying? The classic Batman animated series from the 90s.
Oh,
we watching Sonic. You know what I'm saying? The OG as well as the new one, the Sonic Prime joint. 8 episodes out right now. Watch that when you can. Mm-hmm. Also, I watch a little bit of what he want to watch. You know what I mean? Like, he like Boss Baby. I bet. Let's watch Boss Baby. Because if I watch that, you're going to watch, my joints with me. Garfield. He know Garfield. Very familiar with G. You heard? And, I mean, mostly it's just like a bunch of Spider-Man. I watch the old Spider-Man shit with him. So it's a bunch of, like, kind of seeing what he's into and then kind of cultivating something around that. You know what I mean? Really, like, kids going to let you know what they into. You put something on.
Have you ever put something on that he didn't approve of? Because I can tell you, I put on Animaniacs, and my son was like,
and he was like, "Nah, I'm cool on that shit." Yeah,
but I think it was Animaniacs was very like what was going on in the culture at that time.
You had to kind of know. So it was
a lot of references that he just was never going to understand.
It's over with. I think there have been times where I put something on. I put on Boat one time for him because I love Boat. Boat is one of those. It's a classic movie. Love it.
What is Boat?
Bolt is John Travolta does the voice of the dog with the little lightning bolt on him. He's like a Hollywood dog.
Bolt.
Yeah,
Yes.
Bolt is
Okay,
crazy.
BOLT.
Yes.
I thought it was BOAT. Okay.
No. So I put that on and I was like, oh, I'm about to fuck him up with this one. And he was watching it for a minute, and I looked up and realized like he just started doing his own thing. So I don't know if it wasn't that he wasn't fucking with it, but it just didn't grab him on the first watch like I thought it would. You know what I mean? Madagascar, he fuck with that. Shrek, he like that. But I think overall, I would just say, just kind of test the waters. Try a couple different things out. You know what I mean? A couple things that come to your mind first. And use like, yo, let me see what's up. See if he gravitates toward it. Garfield is a great one, like I said. All of that.
Donovan, I have a suggestion. My son at 6 months to 3 watched Space Jam every day.
Oh, he knew what was up.
Every day.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, we're going to try some Looney Tunes. Really?
You know what? I think Shrek may be a top 3 movie to like see if your kids are, fucking around. Monsters Inc. is another one, but Shrek is the one because my son watched Shrek every single day for so long that it was like, and then we would always tell him like, do the roar. And then he would do the roar because like, bro, it's ill. So try Shrek. That's going to be my recommendation. Try Shrek off the rip.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Cartoons is it can be a bonding moment.
Absolutely.
So you just got to figure out what works for you and your family.
Watch Daniel the Tiger. Yo, put Daniel the Tiger on for him because I'm going to tell you why. Daniel the Tiger, the only cartoon character that I know, first of all, he's a tiger. You heard? He wears sneakers, good hoodie, and he always got the rollie on. Every time. Good gold face on the rollie. Like, now sometimes he be wilding, you know what I mean? He might growl and he ain't supposed to, and it's like, yo, hold on, my boy. But he's a tiger, you know what I mean, at heart. So you kind of gotta let him live with that. Put Daniel the Tiger on. Daniel the Tiger, Shrek, I'm telling you.
So, fun fact: Daniel Tiger is based off of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
There we go.
So he has the sweater, he has the watch, he got the sneakers. Yeah, yes,
absolutely. And then he do the whole song and getting dressed and all. Yeah, absolutely. There you go. Yeah.
It's such a great song.
Hell yeah,
great show.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's see what else we have here.
What else we got, man?
All right. So Neo says hold on. So Neo says, how did you become a fan of the sports teams that you love?
Oh, man.
Keep up with the great work, bro. Proud of you always.
My dog, Neo. Shout out to him, man. That's my dog. We pulled up to the Bulls game and shit like that recently. You know what I'm saying? That's the homie.
So, that is an incredible question.
It definitely is. It definitely is. So basically, I'm a Bulls fan. Oh, boy. I'm a Bulls fan. And I've always been a Bulls fan my whole life because my older brother, Dre, who... he's the only person in my life I ever wanted to like be. I wanted to be like him, walk like him, chew my fucking gum like I wanted to be him. You know what I'm saying? And he was just a Michael Jordan guy. That's why I love Martin so much because Martin, as much as he loved the Pistons, he loved Michael Jordan a little bit more.
That's right.
And so my brother loved Michael Jordan, and so I had the Jordan Jammer rim, with his face on the backboard and shit when I was a kid. It came with the little yellow basketball. I had my mom buy me the Space Jam shit with the big puffy case and shit, and I used to watch, like you said, like I used to watch that shit all the time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it just translated to sports. Like when I got set in front of TV and I see my brother watching sports, it's like it's the Bulls. And in the 90s, it was almost trendy to be a Bulls fan. Like you got Michael Jackson out here wearing full Bulls outfits and all that kind of shit. So it just kind of stuck with me, to be honest. And when it comes to like Michigan Wolverines and all that, that's directly from my parents. You know what I mean? Michigan Wolverines, basketball, football, lacrosse. I don't give a fuck what it is. That's directly from my parents. We watch all Michigan sporting events no matter what. Win, lose, or draw, we love the Wolverines. And then the Giants, it's kind of two parts to that. When I saw Tiki Barber play when I was a kid, I saw him play one time and I was like, yo, what team is this? Because I need to fuck with them. And then I was a huge Kurt Warner fan. When he was in with St. Louis with the Rams, the greatest show on turf, I thought Kurt Warner was the greatest quarterback I ever seen in my life. He ended up going to the Giants, and I was like, it kind of like re-sparked my love for him. And I was like, wait, hold on. Let me see what's going on. You know what I mean? And then we made the transition from him to Eli. Rest is history. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my story with it.
That's dope. See, people really just don't ever think to ask, like, why? What's the reason, but what's the why behind you supporting and going so hard
Yeah,
for these teams? Like, when
yeah,
I'm on Twitter and social media and I see people like reacting, when a certain team lose, and I'm like, why is it so serious? But it's like a personal connection
absolutely, always,
that goes all the way back. I remember
always.
I was a huge fan of Michael Vick because I grew up watching him in the ACC. I'm from North
Yeah,
Carolina, so he's right up
North
in Virginia
Carolina.
Tech, killing shit. Here you go. And so wherever Michael Vick was, it's like he was the reason I even
Absolutely,
started watching football
I
for
respect
real.
that. I respect that.
Yeah, but I'm more of a player person, not a team person. I think
So you're
because
smart, then.
these
You're
days
smart.
people with people going from
Yeah,
another team to another team, the trades that happens,
yeah.
especially because I used to collect jerseys, and I realized that I had a jersey curse, Mari.
What was it?
Every
What was? I gotta
time,
hear
oh
about
my
this.
god, every time I buy a jersey of someone, either they get injured or traded.
Mm.
So I had to
And so
stop.
you was like, you know what? Let me fall back for a nigga fuck around and blow his whole
No,
knee
for
out.
real. Do
As
you
soon as I
remember
get my
Derek
receipt, nigga, knee
Anderson?
will be, yeah, hell yeah,
Remember Derek Anderson from the
for
Spurs?
sure.
And when he went down against the Lakers,
You had just
that
copped
was
the
that was
jersey.
like it. I just got the
Oh,
jersey. Of course, it was like what 2001. They had the Derek Anderson jerseys in the G Dep Let's Get It video. I'm like, and my last
yeah,
name Anderson. Let's go.
yeah.
And he was
Oh
killing shit.
man,
And
damn.
got his jersey. Okay, cool.
And that was
He
it.
out of here.
Yeah,
Then I
damn.
got a Tracy McGrady jersey and a Steve Francis jersey, and these niggas got traded for one another. What?
Immediately. Damn.
Sick.
So wait a minute.
Sick.
So you partly responsible for the history of the NBA, really? Let's be real. You really played a hand in the NBA and how shit. Wow. Whoa.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
Nah, that's kind of crazy. Like, no, but you're smart though. And I think that when I was younger, I used to give people shit for following players. I didn't understand
Mm-hmm.
it. And I think the older I get, the more I realize that that's the smartest way to fuck with sports. Is because if you fuck with a player, you genuinely fuck with them because you know about them. You read the write ups about them. You know where
Yep.
they come from. If you're an Allen
Yep.
Iverson fan, you love Allen Iverson.
Yep.
You don't give a fuck about the
Exactly.
team. It's him. And
Right.
that's really the best way to follow sports, to be honest with you. Because like my favorite player in the NBA is Damian Lillard. Love Dame.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck about. I don't care if Dame never wins a championship ring. I don't care about any of that shit. The man continues to make history. He's doing it in Portland, and he just is unwavering with him with that city, the connection that he has there with those people, and he's just like, nah, this is what I want to do. Fuck the norm of like people saying, nah, you need to get out of there, go to this team, you can win a ring, and it's like, yeah, but what if I don't care about that shit as much as y'all do? What if y'all only care about that kind of shit, and I care about the connection that I have here? I love Dame.
Yeah.
I love the type
Yeah.
of person he is off the court, and that's a guy that no matter what team he went to, I would follow him. So I understand following players and not following teams. Like I'm just
Yeah.
dumb, so you know what I mean. I follow these fucking teams. But the Giants, I ain't gonna lie, the Giants they got a hold on me that I don't know.
So, do people ever say anything about you being fans of sports teams that's not
Yeah,
local to you?
always. They always wonder why. Like, how did it happen? And I say, well, have you seen the Detroit Lions the last 30 years? Have you seen them? Rand Barry out of there, Rand Megatron out of there. I mean, kind of wasn't a
Yeah.
whole lot to go on. You know what I mean? And when I was younger, I really just been the type of person my whole life that I want to choose the shit that I fuck with. You
There
know what I
you
mean? Like I
go.
want to choose it. Like I said, the Michigan shit, it was natural because I love Michigan. Like I love it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
from there. I love it. My parents loved it. It was easy. But as far as like the Bulls, like I said, that came from just me, idolizing my brother and whatever he liked, I like. And Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan. Like, what we talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, that's what it was. And to be
Cool.
honest, I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot of people when you start to really like do your research, there's a lot of people from Detroit. I can only speak on Detroit business. That's where I'm from. A lot of people in the town that's Lakers fans, Steelers fans, they're fans of a bunch of other teams. Like one of my best friends, my man Kev, he's from New York, Harlem, New York. And a New Yorker don't love nothing more than they love New York. His basketball team is the Chicago Bulls. His football team is the San Francisco 49ers. So
Whoa.
I'm just and you know who his baseball team is? Just take a guess.
Braves.
Yes, it's the Braves. It's the Braves. It is. You got it absolutely right.
Why though? Wow.
Because people make their minds up about, I want to root for that team. I don't want to root for these teams. He could have easily been a Giants fan. They had success in the 90s, and we had success, all of that shit. But nah.
But not a Knicks fan.
Never ever. Wow. Never ever. Not even close. You know what I mean? Bulls, 49ers, break. I'm telling you, people just choose what they want.
Because I think about my big brother, Bulls fan, of course. He's of that era where he was a teenager in the 90s.
You feel me?
Yeah. But he's a Miami Dolphins fan, and I never understood how that happened. Is it because of the jerseys?
Because them jerseys,
I have no idea.
The Dan Marino era jerseys,
maybe Dan Marino. I guess I don't know. Man. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, that one is a little tricky right there.
He Miami really loved Hurricanes football fan.
Oh, he really loved them then. If he chose the Dolphins, he really. Now the U I can understand, because the U is the U. The U has fans. The U has a whole nation of fans everywhere. So, but the Dolphins is a tricky one.
Yeah, we from North Carolina. I was like, okay.
Yeah, the Dolphins is a tricky one, man.
Sure.
I think that he might love the Dolphins more than he loves any other team he roots for, because you don't just.
Oh yes,
you don't
he
choose
has a broken
Dolphins,
TV because of the Dolphins.
I can tell.
Yeah,
I can tell. He chose them.
Really intense.
If you chose the Dolphins, you really loved them. Like that's a loyal guy, right? That's a good guy. I ain't gonna lie. He should lead with that. You know what I mean? Out here in the streets, these women like, listen, baby, I chose to root for the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? I'm a good person. You hear me? I'm trying to tell you, man. Shout out to him.
Yes, and shout out to everyone who sent something in, sent in a question for the Ask Mari segment. I really enjoy this. I want to come back, next time you get another round of questions.
And it's the thing, if y'all want to see more Producer Bethany, which I know y'all do, send the questions in. She gonna pull up every time. I'm telling you, man. Like the genie shit. Don't rub her. You know what I mean? Don't put your hands on her. Don't put your hands on her now. That ain't what I'm saying. That ain't what I'm promoting. I told you, when you see her in public,
it depends on who you are.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's another topic for another show. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, shout out to all of y'all, man. Shout out to all of y'all, who send shit in, man. I appreciate it always. You took your time out to, you know what I mean, damn near fracture your thumb sending that motherfucker to me, man. I appreciate it. Open that shit, I'm gonna read it, all that. You know what I mean? Give y'all, real honest feedback. You know what I mean? All for the love. You feel me? Thank y'all, man. Yo, man, shout out to Producer Bethany. My GOAT, you know what I mean? That's my GOAT, man. Y'all know, y'all talk about this all the time, man. You know what I'm saying? Before we get up out of here, let's have a conversation, man. I try to give y'all a gem all the time. You know what I mean? Something y'all can live with, something y'all can pass on to somebody else. It's more than okay to be the odd person out, man. You don't always have to look at the situation and figure out how you fit in. Because if you look and you don't see a spot for you, that's not the place for you. When I say I come from a real place, that's never to insinuate like I did this, I sold that, allegedly. It's just I come from a real place in the sense of I know what love feels like. I know what support feels like. I know what real friendships that turn into more like family bonds feels like. So if I'm in a situation where I don't feel that, I'm okay with being the odd person out. If I'm in a situation where everybody is just okay with being treated a certain type of way, and I know that it's not right, I'm okay with being the odd person out, speaking up and saying I'm not with that. That's not for me. Because they're gonna look at the rest of them. If it's 10 of us, they're gonna look at those other 9 and say, "Well, they ain't complaining. Well, they ain't me. We don't come from the same place. We didn't go through the same shit to get here. So maybe they think that's okay. I know it's not. So I'm okay with being left out of certain shit. I'm okay with not, sitting at the table with, I'm cool. Exclusivity is what it is when it comes to me and my energy and my, me. That's what comes with me. I'm cool. I have a certain select few people who I talk to on a regular. And that's way better than having 130 people who you got. No, that's not real. That's for show. You understand? Like, a lot of times things happen in a crisis, when things really matter, when it's crunch time. Who can you call? Think about that. You can't call 100 people. You can call about 2 or 3 maybe. Those are the people that matter. So I'm okay with not being excluded, not being included with everything. I'm okay, bro. I promise you I'm okay. And you should be too. Don't ever feel like you need to change the way you move to fit in with a certain group. Because if anybody ever makes you feel like being you isn't good enough to fuck with them, they don't deserve you. You already. You know how fire you are? Like, you know how fucking funny you are and cool you are and all that? And people don't want to fuck with that. Why would you ever want to fuck with them? When you look online and you see people trashing the album that you love, you're not going to hit follow on that. You're going to be like, oh, this motherfucker don't know what they talking about. Treat yourself the same way. I don't know what the fuck they talking about. This is you. It's all for the love, man. Episode 14. I mean, we out.